If I offered you $1 million today or a single penny that doubles every day for a month, which would you choose? Welcome to MOOLAH IQ, where we make personal finance, investing, and trading simple. Most people pick the $1 million. It feels safe and real. By the end of this video, you'll see why the penny could hand you over $5 million. More importantly, you'll learn how this principle applies directly to your retirement account, your savings, and every financial decision you make from today forward. We're going to break down compound interest clearly. No complex formulas. Just clarity. Because once you see how this works, you'll never look at time and money the same way again. Let's go back to that penny. Here's what happens when you choose the penny that doubles every day for 30 days. Day 1, 1 cent. Day 10, $5.12. Day 20, $5,242. Now, at day 20, your friend who took the $1 million is probably living their best life. And you? You're sitting there with $5,000, wondering if you made a terrible mistake. This is what I call the waiting period. And it's the reason most people never build wealth. They quit before the shift happens. But before you judge, watch what occurs in the final 10 days. Day 30, $5.3 million. In the last 10 days, you earned more than in the first 20 days combined, by over 1,000 times. That's not luck. That's compound interest. Here's the critical insight. Your brain isn't wired to understand this kind of growth. We think in straight lines. We assume that if we save $100 a month for 10 years, we'll have $12,000. That's addition. Compound interest is multiplication. Your money makes money, then that money grows on itself, and so on. It's exponential. Exponential growth always looks slow at first, until it doesn't. The 3 levers. So how does compound interest actually work? In your life, there's a formula, but forget memorizing it. Instead, focus on the 3 variables you have direct control over. Lever 1, time. This is how many years your money gets to grow. The longer it compounds, the more powerful it becomes. Lever 2, rate of return. This is the percentage your investment earns annually. It could be 5% in a savings account or 8% in an index fund. Lever 3, principal and contributions. This is the cash you start with, and the money you add consistently over time. Most people obsess over the rate of return. They chase hot stocks. They try to time the market. They think picking the right investment is the secret. But the math tells a different story. Time is the most important lever. Not the rate. Not the amount you invest. Time. Time is the exponent in the equation. Exponents don't grow wealth in a straight line. They curve growth upward in ways that feel impossible. Let's look at an example that brings this to life. If you invest $10,000 at 7% annual returns, after 10 years, you have $19,600. After 20 years, you have $38,700. After 30 years, you have $76,000. After 40 years, you have $149,000. Look at what happened. In the first decade, you gained about $10,000. In the fourth decade, you gained $73,000. Same 10-year span. Same rate of return. But the gains in the final decade are 7 times larger than those in the first decade. That's why waiting to start is the most expensive financial mistake you can make. You're not just delaying contributions, you're delaying the exponent. The boring middle. If compound interest is so powerful, why doesn't everyone retire wealthy? Because it's brutally boring for the first 10 years. You're 25 years old. You start investing $500 a month into an index fund, earning 8% annually. Year 1, you contribute $6,000. The market gives you $240 in returns. Total, $6,240. You worked hard to save $6,000, and the market handed you enough for a decent dinner. Year 5, You've put in $30,000. You've earned $5,700 in interest. Total, $36,700. Still feels like you're doing all the heavy lifting. Year 10. You've contributed $60,000. You've earned $28,000. Total, $88,000. This is where most people quit. They look at their account after a decade and think, I've only made $28,000? I could have earned more picking up overtime shifts. So they stop. But they miss what's next. Around year 15, something shifts. This is what I call the crossover point, the moment when the interest you earn each year becomes larger than the amount you're contributing. Year 15, you've contributed $90,000. You've earned $69,000. Now your annual interest is around $12,000. You're only adding $6,000. The market is now working harder than you are. Year 20, you've contributed $120,000. You've earned $161,000. Your annual interest is $21,000, almost 4 times your contribution. Year 30, you've contributed $180,000. You've earned $548,000. Total, $728,000. Your annual interest at this point is $55,000. That's nearly 10 times your contribution. The first 15 years feel like pushing a boulder uphill, but if you stay consistent, momentum eventually takes over. The tragedy is that most people quit right before the crossover point. They endure the boring middle and walk away right before the explosion. I want you to pause for a second. If you've been thinking about starting to invest but keep putting it off, this next part is for you. Because I'm about to show you exactly what waiting costs. Meet 2 people, Emily and Larry. Emily starts investing at age 20. She puts in $300 a month for 10 years, then stops completely. She never adds another dollar after age 30. Larry waits until age 30 to start. But then he gets serious and invests $300 a month for 35 years, all the way to retirement at 65. Both earn 8% annually. Who ends up with more money? Most people say Larry. He invested for 35 years. Emily only invested for 10. But Emily wins. Here's the breakdown. Emily contributed $36,000 total. At age 65, her account is worth $461,000. Larry contributed $126,000, more than 3 times what Emily put in. At age 65, his account is worth $373,000. Emily has $88,000 more, even after contributing $90,000 less. Those 10 extra years, from age 20 to 30, were more valuable than the 35 years from 30 to 65. That's the cost of waiting. Every year you delay is not just a missed contribution, it's missed compound growth. The best strategy is to start early and never stop. But if you had to choose between starting small today or starting big in 5 years, the math is clear: start today. Now let's talk about what kills compound interest: inflation, fees, and taxes. Think of your investment account as a bucket. You're filling it with water from a hose. That's your returns. But at the bottom, there are 3 small holes that always drain water out. First hole, inflation. If you earned 7%, but inflation is running at 3%, your real return is only 4%. Your money has to grow just to keep you in the same place. Second hole, fees. 1% sounds tiny. But over 40 years, it's devastating. Imagine 2 people both investing $10,000 and adding $500 a month at 8% returns. Person A pays 1% in fees annually. Person B pays 1% in fees. After 40 years, Person A has $980,000. Person B has $1.33 million. That 0.9% difference just cost Person A $350,000. A third of their retirement is gone to fees. Third hole, taxes. If you're investing in a taxable account, you're paying taxes on dividends and gains every year. That's money that could be compounding but isn't. This is why retirement accounts like 401ks and Roth IRAs matter. They plug the tax hole and let your money compound without interruption. You can't control the market. You can't control inflation. But you absolutely control fees. Choose low-cost index funds. Avoid funds charging 1 to 2%. And you control which accounts you use. Prioritize tax-advantaged accounts first. Every percentage point you save from fees and taxes is another point compounding in your favor. Let me give you 2 practical tools you can use today. Tool 1, the Rule of 72. This tells you how long it takes your money to double. Take 72 and divide it by your annual return. If you're earning 8%, 72 divided by 8 equals 9 years to double. If you're earning 6%, 72 divided by 6 equals 12 years. If you're earning 4%, 72 divided by 4 equals 18 years. This is why the rate of return matters. The difference between 4 and 8% isn't just 4 percentage points. It's the difference between your money doubling every 9 years versus every 18 years. Over 40 years, that's the difference between 4 doublings and 2 doublings. That's the difference between comfort and struggle in retirement. Tool 2, the $5 a day strategy. You don't need to be rich to start. You need to start getting rich. $5 a day equals $150 a month. If you invest $150 a month starting at age 25, earning 8% annually by age 65, you'll have $438,000. If you wait until 35, that 10-year delay costs you $255,000. Here's how to start. 1. Automate it. Set up a transfer from checking to investing the day after you get paid. 2. Start with an index fund. Don't pick stocks. Don't time the market. Buy a low-cost S&P 500 fund and leave it alone. 3. Increase contributions annually. Every raise, bump your investment by 1 or 2%. 4. Ignore the crashes. Markets drop. That's normal. If you panic and sell, you turn a paper loss into a real one. The goal isn't to get rich quickly. The goal is to get rich inevitably. So here's the real question. What is the actual cost of not starting today? Not in some vague, distant future, but in measurable dollars. You will not have it when you need it most. If you're 30 and you wait 5 more years to start investing, that delay could cost you $250,000 by retirement. Not because you're bad with money, not because you picked the wrong stocks, simply because you waited. Compound interest doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about time. And time is the one resource you can never get back. Remember that penny that turned into $5 million? That wasn't magic. That was just patience plus consistency. Your retirement account can be that penny, but only if you give it time to work. So here's what I'd like you to do. Leave a comment and tell me where you are in your investing journey. Are you just starting? Are you in the boring middle? Have you hit the crossover point? Because wherever you are, the next best step is the same. Stay consistent and let time do the heavy lifting. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Don't let them down. This is MOOLAH IQ, helping you increase your financial IQ, one wise decision at a time.